I've built one of the most consistent routines of anybody that I've ever met. And you might think I'm lying when I say that because it's pretty extreme. But I've never met anyone who is more consistent than me in person. I became so consistent that at one point in my lifter journey, I was extremely nauseous during this period of my life because I was taking magnesium and zinc, which I still supplement with to this day, but I was taking them in doses that were too high, and I didn't know it at the time. So I was always extremely nauseous during this period of time, but I would show up to the gym anyways, go through my workout, get extremely sick, go to the bathroom, force myself to throw up, and then come back out and finish the workout. That's the kind of consistency that you want to have. If you want to become like a legendary tier lifter, if you want to like have a physique that goes down in history, like a Greek god physique, that's the kind of consistency that you want to have. Basically unbreakable. The kind of consistency that, your entire life you'll be lifting. You're never going to fall off at 40. Nothing like that. Most people aren't consistent for shit. When I talk to most people, like 90% of people, if they've ever been in the gym at all, they're not consistent. They were like, oh yeah, I used to do that. I did that at one point. I got in the gym a little bit. I sort of like did a few exercises. I had a routine, and then kind of, life got busy, and schoolwork's really hard right now, so I can't really get in the gym. I don't have a lot of time. That's what a lot of people use. It's all bullshit. It's all horse shit. All of it's excuses. It's not real. It isn't real. The best lifters in the gym that I've ever met, my personal gym, are busy as fuck. They've got like construction jobs. I know a guy that gets off at 6 p.m. He works like a 12-hour shift, and he's still in the gym every single day, squatting more than you. How fucking embarrassing is that? You should be ashamed of yourself, honestly. I meet these people, and I feel bad. Like, I don't feel angry at them. I know I sound angry at them, but I don't feel angry at them. I kind of feel bad for them. I wish there was something I could say that would change their minds. But it's not entirely their fault. They never learned the skill of consistency. They were never taught how to be consistent. It's kind of like if you were to start in the gym, but you don't know what exercises to do, right? You'll kind of be wandering aimlessly. You won't really know what machine to go to. And if you do a machine, then you're not really going to know what to do next. Consistency is kind of the same way. You need to know the mechanics of consistency before you can become consistent, right? You've got to learn consistency. That's what I want to teach you in this video. But first of all, if you are this type of person, and if you're watching this, then you'll know if you're this type of person. I just want to say, I care about making you consistent. I want to make you consistent, okay? I'm on your side. Even though I say mean things, I'm on your side, okay? And this is an extremely important skill to have anywhere in life, right? So pay attention. Think about it. If you had the aesthetic physique already, I'm sure you're struggling with being consistent, whatever, right? It's hard. It is hard. But if you had the aesthetic physique already, if you had the athletic, attractive physique already, the 10 out of 10 physique already, your feeling about the gym would be completely flipped. You would be anxious to miss the gym because you'd be afraid of losing that, right? So I don't want you to feel an aversion to learning how to be extremely consistent, because consistency is not hard once you learn how to do it. Okay? So it's very important that you pay attention here today, and have an open mind and be open to sort of changing your habits and changing your the way you do things, right? So as I mentioned, we need to learn the mechanics of consistency, and the main one is neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is basically, I'm not a scientist, I'm like a bro scientist. Repeated actions lead to future repeated actions. It's habit. It's behavior makes future behavior more automatic. And so that's the ground rule that we have to understand when it comes to consistency. What this means is you always want to be doing the habit as frequently as and as much as possible. So that means we want to be spamming sessions, basically. More sessions is more good, right? So instead of doing I hear a lot of people talk about doing a 3-day routine throughout the week, right? So it's like Monday, Thursday, Saturday, some shit like that. I don't know. Or 4-day routines or 5-day routines. Scratch all of that, okay? I want you to do a 6-day routine at least, maybe 7-day if that's more your style. But when you think in terms of neuroplasticity, this makes way more sense, right? Now, if you're doing 4 days a week of exercise and 3 days of not exercise, that's 3 days where you're reinforcing, I don't exercise. So days where you don't exercise will feel more natural, right? I don't hear anyone talking about this when they spout like this 5-day a week routine bullshit, this 4-day a week routine bullshit. Like, I know for a fact, if you do a 6-day routine for a couple of weeks, you're going to be hooked on that routine for sure. Right? If you do 6 days a week, that's 6 days a week, 6 sessions a week where you reinforce, okay, I am a lifter, I go to the gym regularly. So we want to be maximizing for sessions, right? Basically minimizing days skipped at the expense of other things. And you're obviously going to say, okay, well, that's really hard to do. Yes, it is, especially for beginners. Which is why what we're going to do is we're going to dial down the intensity of workouts until it's stupid to not go, right? I'm absolutely serious about this. I know this is very unconventional advice, but we deal with unconventional advice on this channel. But advice that works, advice that is practical. If you find that it's hard to hit workouts 6 days a week, dial it down until it's so easy you have absolutely no excuse to go. Dial it down so much that if you have the worst day of your life, you would still be open to going. That means lower the amount of time in the gym to something stupid low, like 15 minutes, and lower the intensity of exercises of number of sets performed to something stupid low. At the bottom, I'm totally serious about this, you can just make it one set of anything, of push-ups, 10 push-ups. You're going to drive to the gym and do 10 push-ups, and that's it. Then you're done with the workout. You can do more if you feel like it, but that's it. If you have the worst day of your life and you have a billion excuses that are telling you, okay, I really don't want to go because of X, Y, and Z. And A, B, C, D, E, blah, 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 blah. If you have the worst day of your life, would you still go if that was all you had to do? Maybe, right? It might take a little bit of time to go down to the gym and set up and stuff like that. And so you might be like, okay, what's the point? But you can kind of see how it's like, okay, there's not really any effort in there. There's a little bit of effort, but it's not horrible, right? Now, for most days, and for most people, we don't need to do this. Basically, find a very simple routine. If you struggle with being consistent, let's say 30 minutes, okay? And just a few exercises, maybe 3 exercises with a couple sets each. And that's kind of a simple routine. It's not too hard to follow, right? And it's up to you how hard you push yourself on each set, how much weight you put on. but it's fairly easy for people to follow, even if they're very busy. They have very busy lives. So that's the kind of thing that we're aiming for here. But even if we don't hit it very hard each of the 6 days of the week, you see how we leave so few off days. We're minimizing days skipped. We're building that habit, right? Because once the habit's built, then we can go on to increase intensity. But if we never build the habit, it's not going to matter how hard you push yourself if you skip the 2 days after that, right? It's not going to matter. So build consistency first, at the expense of intensity. By the way, I explain all of this in my full program. You can find that in the link. It's the first link in the description. Basically, it's got every single thing that I know about lifting inside of it. We've got protocols and programs to get you jacked and build you an aesthetic body. And it's got so much that I can't possibly put into one YouTube video. So you'll benefit a lot just from checking that out, going to the page and reading what it's about. And if it doesn't seem like it's for you, then you can obviously just come back here and watch the rest of this video. So yeah. The second thing to understand is that motivation is fleeting, but discipline is key. So many people nowadays are just at the whim of their emotions. Whatever they feel like, they do, right? They sort of float through their day being like, I feel like this, I feel like that, I feel like eating junk food. Okay, I feel like playing video games. Okay, I should be going to bed, but I feel like playing video games even more. Okay, I'm just going to do that. If you follow your emotions, which can't be trusted, by the way, because your emotions always change and they're not aligned to a goal of any kind, if you follow your emotions, you're going to get lost in life. This is how you get led to hedonism. This is how you get led to sloth. This is how you get led to, not like the animal, but like laziness, right? This is how you get led down the wrong path, is following your emotions. And so you might think that motivation to go to the gym is a good thing because it's a good habit. Going to the gym is a great habit. But that's absolutely not true. Because when you follow your emotions, then you're reinforcing the following of emotions. So if you feel motivation, that's great, by the way. Sure, that's awesome. But you don't want to be dependent on it. What you want to be dependent on is discipline. It's, I am going to do this action no matter what I feel like. And there are several ways to make this sort of easier for yourself or more natural for you to follow the discipline of going to the gym every day of your routine. And the main thing that we're going to do here is build a system, right? So we're going to be basically doing kind of like maybe not a physical list, but a mental list of all of these criteria. A specific time every single day that you're going to be going. This is routine, okay? Morning or afternoon, whichever feels most natural, you need a specific time that you say, okay, I'm going to go at this time today. You need to know exactly what you'll be doing when you get down there. So you need to write out a routine. You need to write out just go into Apple Notes or something like that, or the Android alternative, I don't know. Or if you've got the Windows phone. So make a list, right? Write out your routine. And then other stuff sort of like that, like set up maybe the supplements you'll take before, something like that. The music you'll listen to, maybe have like a gym playlist, whatever. Build a system so that it's natural for you to engage in the system, right? And get extremely specific with this. Don't just say gym at 4. Like, get very specific with exactly what you'll be doing when it comes around that time. This is kind of how you should write out all habits in life, is you need to be extremely specific so there's absolutely no wandering aimlessly. There's no standing around looking around like an idiot in the gym. There's no question about what you should be doing. You should be following a specific set of actions. This is how the military operates, by the way. And then going with system, it's important to set up your environment. So engage in environment design so that it's really easy. There's no friction involved with going to the gym. This means I want your gym clothes gathered folded up and set in a corner of your room. I want your running shoes placed somewhere visible. I want your supplements on the counter or on a shelf visible. I literally have my backpack sitting in the corner of my room with all my gym stuff in it. I've got deodorant, I have lifting straps, stuff like that, and I have my supplements as well, all in the backpack. It's just sitting there. It's right by the door. So at any point in time, I can just grab my shoes, I can grab my backpack, and I can go out to my car and I can go to the gym. Make it extremely easy for yourself. Because think about it. When it's time to go to the gym, if you've already got mental friction, you already have consistency problems, do you really want to be like, okay, God, I've got to go gather my things. Let me go spend 10 minutes gathering my things, taking my supplements, getting ready, blah, 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 right? No. Just get your stuff gathered, engage in a little bit of environment design, put it together, right? Get yourself nice and prepared beforehand. And then it's important to understand that becoming consistent is really just about saying no consistently to excuses. So what I mean by that is, anytime an excuse pops into your head about why you can't go today, recognize it as a bullshit little bitch excuse, a little bitch voice in your head, the little bitch devil on your shoulder that's saying, no, we can't go today. We're tired today. We don't feel like going today. We have this thing later, and I don't want to be tired for that. Don't listen to it. Say no to it. And then just go to the gym. And that'll be hard at first. It'll really be hard at first. Because they sound like rational reasons as to why you can't go. But your brain is going to rationalize anything to avoid effort. Right? And the more excuses, here's the key, the more excuses you say no to, the more they get kind of unblocked from the path to the habit. So this is going to sound kind of crazy, but if you say no to it once, it'll get infinitely easier to say no to it again. In fact, it almost might like become negligent that you have to say no to it at all or resist it at all. If I'm tired one day, if I've had a bad day at work or something like that, and a little voice in my head, a little bitch voice in my head goes, okay, I don't want to go to the gym today. Today was hard. Let's play video games. If I say no to that once, then I go to the gym. That's tough. What happens when I have another bad day at work? And that voice kind of pops up again. I'm going to think to myself, okay, well, last time I just ignored the excuse and I went to the gym. And today wasn't necessarily much worse than last time. So I'll just go to the gym again. Do you see how this kind of works? And there's no friction there. It's not like emotionally painful anymore. You need to really get defensive about your routine. After all, you want to work out. You chose to build out a routine and try and get in the gym so you can build an aesthetic physique. So why would you let some stupid little voice try and take that away from you? You know, this is something you want to do deep down. Obviously, you wouldn't be clicking on this video if you didn't want to do it deep down. So you need to get defensive about it and just say, no, I don't want to engage in that stupid behavior, that stupid little excuse. I'm not listening to you because you're a little bitch. And then go to the gym. And then you're over that forever. And then when the next excuse comes along, you know what to do. You say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to skip because of this. And then that gets removed too. Until eventually there's almost no blocks between you and the task and it becomes automatic, right? And it's always good advice to just track any habit that you're doing, and each day you're supposed to complete it, and whether you have or haven't completed it. I like to use a paper tracker, so I just take a piece of paper, write the name of the habit on it, and then I make a little check or an X depending on whether I've completed it or I've skipped it and basically failed. And you can use a digital one if you really want to. I found that paper's better because it's always sort of in view. It's not like an app I have to open and I'm not going to remember it if I don't open the app. And it's just you really see where you start to fall short, right? Once you do it as well, you sort of get this embarrassing feeling once you're inconsistent that almost remedies the consistency issues itself. Like, you start to notice, okay, I have a lot of X's on here. Like, I'm not consistent for shit. I need to get better. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to go. And then you go the next day. And soon, X's stop appearing on your habit tracker. It's a really fantastic way to build consistency. So I'll recommend that to anyone. You can just get a little bit of tape, piece of paper, tape it to your wall. It's super easy. And then, like, before bed or whatever, just check it off. Or as soon as you complete the habit, just check off for that day. So that's great. And then lastly, I want to talk about something important, which is to change your identity, your real, like, core identity. If we have the self-belief that we are inconsistent people or we are not athletes, we're not going to be athletes, no matter how hard we try. If we believe we skip, we suck, we don't work out, I'm just someone trying to work out, we're going to suck at being consistent because it's not a core part of who we are. But the people that build habit, the people that get to about the 3-week mark, I think, where you kind of start to build habits and it becomes that neuroplasticity really starts to kick in. They start to believe, okay, I am an athlete. I am a bodybuilder. I am a lifter, right? I am a weightlifter. I am an athlete. I am building an aesthetic physique. When they start to say that to themselves, then it makes it really easy and almost like fun, like enjoyable to do the thing, because now you can say it's a part of who I am, and it's a fantastic part of who I am. I am extremely proud of this part of me. So anytime you find yourself sort of I'm not sure if in pain is the right word, resistant to the thing you want to do, start to tell yourself, okay, I am a weightlifter. I am a weightlifter. I am a strong weightlifter. I am building an aesthetic physique, right? Or even something just kind of not tied to your identity exactly, but more to like your emotions. You can just sort of tell yourself, okay, I am a strong lifter, or I love building an aesthetic body. It feels amazing when I work out. I love working out. I love moving my body. I love working my muscles. I love feeling the muscles tear and grow and build. I love it. I enjoy it. This is who I am. So yeah, I mean, because that's where the real progress comes in, right? That's where you start to go, even though you're sick and you know you're going to throw up mid-workout. You know you're going to throw up your lunch mid-workout, and it's going to suck. And the workout's probably going to suck. And you're probably not going to lift as much because you're going to be physically drained from being sick. But you go anyways. Because you're a lifter. This is what you do. You don't miss. You don't skip days. You're better than that. Anyways, if you got value from this video, there's something which you can do, which is a win-win for both of us. That is to scroll down and click the subscribe button. I win because I get a new subscriber. You win because anytime I have a new insight, learn a new lesson, or try something else new, then I can make a video and give you value directly. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day.